Welcome to the Week in Review version of the Daily Sports Content Economy podcast for Friday, March 6, 2026. We created this podcast specifically for alternative and Tier 2 sports leagues, teams, competitions, and the athletes who compete in them. We just got out of a meeting with Bryce, and he wanted us to share what should be top of mind for today as you navigate the day.
Yeah, and Bryce really dropped a mountain on our desks this morning.
He really did. Moving forward, for the rest of this deep dive, our entire mission is just to break down this massive amount of intelligence into a really clear, actionable strategy for you.
Right.
And when I say massive, I mean it. We're looking at a grand total of 23 uploaded source documents.
Which is huge.
It is, comprising over 110 individual articles, data reports, and references. The absolute anchor of this whole thing is a staggeringly comprehensive Perplexity intelligence report. That one alone is packed with 20 headlines and 50 links.
And on top of that, we're integrating some really incredible industry reports from Sport Business, the GIS Sports, TwoFilter, NIL Wire, and Profluence Sports.
It's just a remarkable stack of information.
It really is. And, taking a step back to look at all 110 plus pieces of data, it paints a very vivid and honestly a somewhat urgent picture of where the sports economy is right this second.
Yeah.
The underlying architecture of how fans consume, interact with, and ultimately pay for sports, it's changing faster than ever.
Definitely. And our goal today is to translate this mountain of news into actionable trends, statistics, and a highly specific do-to-day playbook. Things you can actually put into practice before you log off for the evening.
Exactly.
To set the stage, let's just run through the top 5 headlines that really jumped out from the research stack.
Go for it.
First up, we found a piece from the Sports Business Journal, and this was surfaced via that Perplexity report titled UFC and Bet365 Reset the Betting Sponsorship Model.
That one's massive.
Yeah.
And second, coming directly from WSC Sports via the Perplexity report, we have the headline, WSC Sports formalizes a WSC Sports for Creators program to license AI cut highlights.
Number 3, there's this fascinating breakdown from StreamLayer again, found in the Perplexity intelligence brief called the 6-layer monetization stack for streaming platforms in 2026.
And the momentum isn't just in the tech sector, right? Looking at headline number 4, sourced from the GIS Sports newsletter, unrivaled women's basketball league banks $45 million in Season 2 revenue.
Insane numbers there.
Totally. And finally, rounding out the top 5, we have a jaw-dropping metric from the Business of YouTube report. Kaze TV garners 1 billion views during the FIFA Club World Cup.
1 billion views. Okay, let's unpack this. Starting with our first major theme, which is the decentralization of broadcasting and the creator economy.
Right.
We're seeing a massive shift in sports media. According to Andrew Petcash over at Profluence Sports, we are now operating in the 5 layers of the new sports media economy.
Yes, the 5 layers.
He breaks this down into traditional broadcast, alternative casts, creator leagues, creator distribution, and community platforms. The days of everyone tuning in to one single megacast on a Saturday afternoon, they just seem to be completely over.
What's fascinating here is how the data perfectly validates that exact framework. If you look at the Business of YouTube report we reviewed, traditional television is actively losing its grip, particularly with the younger demographics. The stats are quite telling. 56% of sports fans in Brazil and 59% of fans in Mexico now actually prefer watching sports commentary from online creators, athletes, and journalists over traditional TV.
That is a huge tipping point.
It is. And when you look at that 5th headline you mentioned, Kaze TV hitting 1 billion views on YouTube during the FIFA Club World Cup, it proves that this isn't just a niche secondary trend anymore. It is the new mainstream broadcast network.
But let me play devil's advocate for a second here.
Sure.
If I'm running a Tier 2 league, my broadcast rights, my raw footage, that is my biggest asset. The WSC Sports stated in our stack notes that they are formally licensing AI-cut highlights to creators. If I just hand over my raw game footage to a YouTuber for free, aren't I just cannibalizing my own core product? Why would I give that away?
It's a totally valid fear. But the Perplexity report cited a brilliant counterpoint from WSC Sports. They stated that 99% of sports content is irrelevant without context and personalization from a creator.
99%.
Exactly. Fans today don't just want to see a sterile highlight of a great play. They want to experience that highlight alongside someone they trust, someone whose personality really resonates with them. You aren't cannibalizing your product by giving footage to creators. You're using them as top-of-funnel marketing.
I see.
You're leveraging their established trust to build your
That makes
audience.
a lot of sense, especially when you look at what's happening at the collegiate level.
Right.
The NIL Wire report in our stack highlights that the Mountain West Conference is actively experimenting with having their own players stream games directly on social media.
Which is wild to think about.
Right. They're paying the athletes via NIL deals, meaning name, image, and likeness agreements with Creative Sports Network to distribute the game themselves. The players literally are the broadcast network.
Precisely. And it goes all the way up to ownership now. Look at the TubeFilter report detailing how massive YouTube creator KSI just bought the Tier 6 English soccer club Dagenham and Redbridge FC.
Okay.
He wants to elevate them the exact same way Ryan Reynolds did with Wrexham. Creators aren't just commenting on sports, they are the new media networks and the new owners.
So let's translate this into the do-today playbook for you listening. If you are an athlete, based on the Perplexity and WSC sports data, your move today is to identify 5 to 10 non-game moments. Think travel days, training blocks, gear prep.
The behind-the-scenes stuff.
Exactly. Film them and use AI tools to cut them into vertical videos. Then literally today, direct message 2 Mish creators in your sport and offer them free co-posting rights to your footage. Get your face on their feed.
Love that. For the leagues and teams listening, your playbook task today, drawn directly from that Perplexity intelligence brief, is to draft a one-page creator access policy.
Yes, so important.
You need a clear, simple document permitting the non-exclusive use of your highlights by pre-approved creators in exchange for tags and sponsor visibility. Furthermore, looking at the TNT Sports and FIBA report via Perplexity, you need to identify one digital companion brand or channel like a House of Highlights style social account that your league can invest in or partner with this year.
And if you're running competitions or races, your assignment from the data is to identify a cloud storage vendor right now. You need a frictionless way to deliver same-day raw clips to your top 5 community creators.
Right.
Email them today and invite them to experiment with your footage at your next race. Give them the raw materials to build your audience for you.
It is all about lowering the barrier to entry for the people who already have the audience's attention. But as we decentralize the content and hand it over to creators, the natural question becomes, how do we actually capture the financial value of that attention?
Here's where it gets really interesting. We're pivoting to our second segment. The full stack monetization and AI infiltration. Because all this creator-led, fragmented content has to make money. It can't just be about views and vibes.
Exactly. And it goes far beyond running a standard pre-roll ad before a video. According to the Streamlayer report via Perplexity, we are looking at a highly integrated 6-layer full-stack monetization model for live sports streaming in 2026.
6 layers.
Yes. This stack includes standard ad breaks, AI-triggered event ads, pause ads, in-play overlays, interactive or shoppable experiences, and premium sponsorships. It is a highly dynamic environment where commerce sits directly inside the video player.
Let's break some of that down for the listeners. When we talk about in-play overlays or a score bug, we're talking about the digital graphics on the screen, like the little box showing the score and the time clock. Think about a niche mountain biking competition. In the past, you needed a massive, expensive broadcast truck to insert graphics. Now with this AI tech, you can automatically pop up a sponsor's logo or a dynamic leaderboard the second a rider hits a jump. It makes a Tier 2 event look and monetize exactly like a Tier 1 broadcast.
That is the perfect analogy. And powering all of this is artificial intelligence. Deloitte's 2026 Sports Industry Outlook, again via the Perplexity report, makes it crystal clear. AI is moving from a fun trick play to the absolute core infrastructure of the sports business.
It's everywhere.
It is handling ticketing, operations, content creation, and real-time fan engagement.
And we can see how this changes what sponsors expect. Take that Sports Business Journal report via Perplexity on the UFC and Bet365 deal. Brands like Bet365 no longer just want a painted logo on the center of the mat.
No, not at all.
They are demanding a full bundle. They expect live data feeds, integrated streams, predictive odds graphics that are perfectly timed to natural breaks in the action, and always-on shoulder content. They want to be woven into the fabric of the event.
So how do we act on this? For the athletes out there, the Perplexity and Streamlayer reports suggest a very specific action. On your next stream or video on demand upload, add at least one interactive or shoppable element today.
Super easy to do.
Exactly. It could be as simple as pinning a sponsor link in the chat during a segment where you explain your gear. Also, the Perplexity data citing shot caller recommends taking an existing race or match today and using an AI tool to auto-generate a batch of short clips to flood your feeds. Don't do it manually. Let the AI do the heavy lifting.
For leagues and teams, your playbook item from Perplexity and StreamLayer is to sketch out an overlay and interactive package. Think about that branded scorebug or a sponsored live leaderboard and price it out as an add-on to your existing jersey or banner sponsorships before the day is over.
Yes.
Additionally, drawing from the Perplexity wrap-up of the Deloitte report, your operational task today is to create a central spreadsheet of all your fan touchpoint data sources. Ticketing, email, social. You need this organized as step one for future AI integration.
And for the competitions and races, your playbook task from the Bet365 report via Perplexity is to map out every single natural pause in your race format. Where the wave starts.
The transition zone.
Yes, the transition zones, the safety holds. Map those moments today, designate them as homes for sponsored odds graphics or predictive content, and add that directly to your media rights one-pager. Sponsors want to know you understand the rhythm of your own event and how to monetize the white space.
And this presents an incredible opportunity for properties that might traditionally be considered niche, which perfectly sets up our third segment, niche dominance, women's sports, and unconventional sponsors.
Right.
Alternative leagues in women's sports are genuinely perfectly positioned to capitalize on these exact new digital models. Just look at the phenomenal reporting from the GI Sports. The unrivaled women's basketball league just banked $45 million in Season 2 revenue.
Incredible.
That is up 66% year over year, and their merch sales more than doubled to nearly $4 million.
The underlying consumer behavior driving that growth is vital to understand. The GIS highlighted data from StubHub's Her Sports Hub, showing that avid women's sports fans follow 10 sports on average.
10 sports.
Compare that to 8 sports for fans of men's sports. They also noted a massive 360% surge in WNBA interest during Olympic years.
Wait, 10 sports compared to 8? That's a huge difference in cross-pollination.
It is. These fans are highly engaged, they are exploring different leagues, and most importantly, they are deeply loyal to the brands that support their athletes. They reward the companies that show up for women's sports and alternative leagues.
Because of that deep engagement, we're seeing totally new categories of brands jumping into the sports sponsorship arena. It's not just beer and trucks anymore.
This raises an important question. Who exactly is funding this new era? We are seeing a massive influx of lifestyle and B2B tech companies. According to the Sports Business Journal via Perplexity, League One Volleyball, or LOVB, just signed the women-founded bag brand Daggy Dover for branded tunnel walks and venue signage.
I love that concept. For a niche sport, a tunnel walk might just be the corridor from the locker room to the court.
Right.
But branding that specific walk turns a mundane moment into premium, highly shareable inventory. And on the B2B and fintech side, it is exploding too.
Oh, absolutely.
The non-billable report via Perplexity shows Harvey, a legal AI company, is now sponsoring U.S. Open tennis. SportsPro reported via Perplexity that New, a digital financial services brand, secured the stadium naming rights for Inter Miami. And the Sports Business Journal noted via Perplexity that the fintech company Chime is a presenting sponsor for the MLS All-Star Game. Brands are realizing that sports fans also need banking, software, and everyday lifestyle products.
It is a brilliant alignment of audience demographics. So for the athletes listening, your Due Today playbook, sourced directly from the Perplexity Intelligence Brief, is to audit your followers' geography and age using your platform analytics. Draft a one-slide snapshot today and send it to a fintech or lifestyle brand whose target demographic perfectly matches yours. Also, drawing from the Perplexity data on the Harvey deal, identify one B2B tool you genuinely use, maybe a tax software or a training platform, and draft a testimonial pitch to send them. Think outside the standard sports drink sponsor.
Leagues and teams, your Due-to-Day playbook from the Perplexity brief on the LOVB deal is to audit your crowd demographics right now. Write a one-slide audience-fit story that you can use to pitch first-time lifestyle sponsors. And to attract those fintech dollars, the Perplexity research suggests adding a financial wellness content concept to your next sponsorship brainstorm today. Pitch them a content franchise that actually helps your fans, not just a static banner.
For competitions and races, your actionable advice from Perplexity is to add a tunnel walk or start corridor moment to your next race plan, specifically designed for a lifestyle brand signage. Furthermore, look at your vendor village or race expo and write in a presenting sponsor of mobile payment slot today. You have a captive audience making purchases, monetize that transaction layer.
So what does this all mean? We have covered creator networks, AI monetization, and totally new sponsor categories. This brings us to our fourth and final segment, bringing it all together by building your own platform.
Yes, the big takeaway.
If you synthesize all this incredible data from Bryce's source stack, the ultimate takeaway is that individuals and Tier 2 properties must stop relying on middlemen. You have to act like your own media network.
Precisely. The Elixir 2026 Trend Report via Perplexity highlights a major movement of athletes building independent commercial platforms. They are launching membership apps using direct-to-fan tools like Grandstand.
For those who might not know, Grandstand is essentially a platform that lets you build your own custom community app without needing a massive team of developers, right?
Exactly. It allows athletes and leagues to monetize their intellectual property and audience data entirely on their own terms. It is the difference between renting an audience on a social media algorithm where the rules can change overnight and truly owning a community in your own digital ecosystem.
And this isn't just an athlete trend. The PwC North American Outlook via Perplexity confirms that membership-style ticketing is becoming a massive driver of revenue for organizations. Fans want to belong to a club.
Right.
They don't just want to buy a single transactional ticket. We're also seeing a major shift in how organizational deals are structured. Look at the Sports Pro report on Canada Soccer's deal with CSME, which stands for Canada Soccer Media and Entertainment.
That is a crucial example. They are shifting away from traditional flat fee endorsements and moving toward equity and performance-based revenue share agreements. Instead of just taking a guaranteed check and letting a third party own all the upside of their commercial rights, they are partnering to build a business. It's riskier, but the ceiling is infinitely higher.
Everyone is demanding a piece of the upside now. So your do-today playbook reflects that urgency to build your own platform. For athletes, the Perplexity brief on the PwC report advises you to design a basic membership or supporter club concept today.
Yeah, simple stuff.
Think about a private group, early merch drops, or monthly Q&As. Sketch it out and run a poll on your Instagram stories before you go to sleep to gauge your audience's interest.
Leagues and teams. Your playbook from Perplexity and Elixir is to look at your roster today and identify 2 athletes who have the social scale and personality to co-produce a recurring show. Map that out and physically write it into your next sponsorship pitch as a co-sell opportunity. You leverage their audience, they get a revenue share, and the sponsor gets premium, authentic integration.
Finally, for competitions and races, drawing from the Perplexity and PwC insights, draft a simple race membership tier today. Move beyond simple registration fees. Outline a package that includes priority registration, digital race prep content, maybe an annual virtual challenge, and sketch out a price point today, even if the launch is months away.
Start building the architecture for community ownership now before you actually need it.
To summarize the ultimate lesson from this massive deep dive into our 110-plus sources, the sports economy is rapidly decentralizing. You have to stop just selling static logos on jerseys. The future is about selling community access, providing creator context, and offering data-backed, highly integrated digital inventory.
It is a profound shift, and it leaves us with one highly critical, somewhat provocative thought to ponder. If consumer AI can automatically cut perfect highlights in seconds, and independent creators are the ones capturing all the actual audience engagement and trust, we have to ask, what happens when the fan's relationship is 100% with the creator and 0% with your league? How do you ensure your alternative sport doesn't just become a silent white label background for someone else's brand empire?
Wow. That is the exact question you all need to be asking yourselves right now. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Now it is up to you. Take these due-to-date playbook items, message that creator, draft that one-pager, map out those race pauses, and implement them before this day ends. You have the data, you have the strategy, now go execute. We will catch you on the next deep dive.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Daily Sports Content Economy Podcast. If you're ready to build your content media empire, we should probably talk. Visit rootgroupmarketing.com. Thanks for watching and listening.